Yo, what's up? Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the 1 hour late start today. Not feeling 100% and overslept a tiny bit. But okay, let's jump into it. So we're currently working on snow, or actually utilizing the activity texture we have created. And we're in the process of improving the snow, looking on how to deform it, actually. So let me do some very nice drawings to make it clear what we're trying to do. So if the character walks, like, how do I want to draw this? Maybe I want to draw it from above. So if we have the head, we look from above, we have a hand, and then we have a feet and a feet. And if this character traverses the snow like this, we deform it like this. The idea was that you want to simulate like the pushing of snow. So you would get a little bit higher. It gets deformed downwards here, but it's a little bit higher here, basically. And right now we're exploring what of the available data, what can we use for this? How do we differentiate between untouched snow, downwards deformed snow, ridges like this, and then we have, like, our sweet spots would probably be around here. And we actually found a pretty good way to get these points. I'm gonna show it, but it's not perfect just yet. Let's see if we can do one here. Good morning, Calvino, by the way. I just find this fascinating. Did my thesis on real-time tessellation and it wasn't possible then. Oh, interesting. Yeah, all of this is very interesting. Wait, is it a penis? Maybe it isn't. Okay, I fucked up. But, so what we have here is actually, we have the texture that stores data for the minimum height of an object that traverses a point, and then we can downsample that texture, but we do it by MIPS, and then we actually get the area we want almost perfectly. We can see here that the middle is white as well. I would like to exclude this one, I think. But if we go up in MIPS level, we get something like this. Those do look very male, female. That was not what I was aiming for, but but we can see here that we highlight the areas we would like to. So the lighter it is, the more we would like to heighten it, and maybe also heighten it in a specific direction. We'll see. But the problem is The problem still is that we get highlights on these edges here. Cypher, it's stretching those initial drops quite a bit. Not entirely sure what you need, but I don't know if topology matters for this. Oh yeah, we are definitely gonna improve the topology later on. We're probably gonna introduce some real-time tessellation, so hopefully you'll like that. And then we can also do a simple hack where we flip the quads here, so that these jagged, we flip the quads to be aligned with the slope, I think. So these jagged, the jagged result we see here will be a bit smoother. But we'll get to that. Right now we have pretty high resolution for the full mesh. I would probably like to avoid that eventually. Do real low resolution when far away and high resolution when close. But the focus of the topic is the deformation and if we can make it a bit more alive. So we have two problems with the highlight we currently have. We highlight these middle points, we need to exclude them in some way. I have no idea just yet how we will do that. And we also have the problem of the data being jagged because we're reading a very low resolution texture. So that makes sense. What do we have here? Bruce. Ah, fuck. Red Dead Redemption 2 Snow on the YouTube link. Oh, fucking hell. That game is so beautiful. If you look close enough, you can see some artifacts, though. I just want to put that out there. But holy shit, is it good. Yeah, it's insane how good that snow is. Derek, the jagged edges can be handled like the water, basically. Yeah, but I think so. When we had the jagged edges between water and terrain, I think we solved it on the CPU. I want to look into solving it on the GPU. I think we can manage that. But yeah, flipping quads can help quite a lot with yeah, stuff like this. But let's see here. What more did we have? Heighten edge vertices. Does that make sense? Bruce, I would use that as a reference. Oh, believe me, I have that back of my mind at all times. Even when I'm not developing my own. Okay, so two issues. We have a little bit of a sed fighting going on here, but that's okay. We can focus on this one first. How would we go about offsetting or excluding these parts, I wonder? Best case scenario, we would be able to do it when we deform the snow. Worst case scenario, we could do it when we do when we store the activity data. So we could in some way mark it or smudge it or something. Because basically what it comes down to, these parts are between the legs. We want to lower them. These parts are outside of the trail and snow should be added to them. So heighten, lower. But what differentiates them? And then we want to do something about the jagged edges. So these two things is probably what we're gonna focus on now. And depending on how much time it takes, I will see, we'll see. I think we could probably... So right now we're doing this... we could check. I'm not entirely sure I like this solution, but so what we colorize now is we take a value from a downsampled activity texture, but we could pair that with adjacent neighbors. So for this vertex, pretty much when we read from the activity texture, we see here that it's actually, we have a lot of activity. So when we read from the downsampled one, but when we read from the specific one and its adjacent neighbors, we can see that we have 4 untouched and 4 touched. I don't think that might not cut it. I mean, we could probably also solve it by doing I wonder what doing something like... We do a real quick displace amount here. Let's add this as a property, so we can change this one in real time and see how it affects it. So this is the result we had previously and still have. And if we do, we just take a look at what happens if we go, let's disable this one for now. If we lower this one, happens. Yeah, it's not enough. So this is pretty much a threshold type of check, like if the displace amount, i.e. how close or how much are we deforming this one based on activity, and we check. So if we displace it by 0.9, we define it as, or if we displace it as less than 0.9, we haven't touched it basically. And that's why we get more white parts if we go down and less if we go up. This one doesn't cut it. But we can also do 2, 3. We should be getting pretty dark result here, shouldn't we? Or a lot of deformation. I wonder if we can use how to exclude these. probably use... could we maybe use... Are we really getting... We should be able to exclude them by some thresholding. Am I not thresholding the correct thing? Because we can see these are much lighter than these. What is going on here? How the hell are we pretty much getting no deform? Ah, okay, I get it. I get it. Yeah, we could use... So we actually have a deformation, or we have a minimum height here that is way less than here. It's only that the minimum height here is greater than terrain height plus snow height. So we can see here from this texture that we can differentiate between this area and this area pretty easily. Just using this in some way, but we have to be careful exactly on how we do it. And then of course we also have 2.5. Yeah, we have max height as well, if we want to keep this one. If we want to do something with this. And we have velocity strength as well. It would be amazing if we could solve it by simply using the minimum height, because this is something I know, like this is something we 100% want in our data, and it's probably never gonna get changed, or it's the one that has at least the smallest probability of being changed. But also, if we just go by this, what I'm a little bit afraid of as well is, yeah, we can probably make, let's get rid of these then. We can probably make, so what I'm wondering, if the character walks like this, like the easy part, or the easier part, is to deform or heighten the snow around this trail, right? But then it's a question of, what do we do? Like, can we find a solution that also works when this happens? Don't know if it's possible without a timestamp as well. But I don't know if I care this much about it to fix. So what I'm getting at here is that here, like best case scenario, we would probably heighten this bit in the old trail a tiny bit. But yeah, I don't know if we want to be. This is something we can solve if we make the activity texture fully dynamic. Like if we maybe that's not such a bad idea. I'm talking about, so Derek, sorry I missed it, why wouldn't it work? So like it's how we differentiate between, like how would we identify that we have a path overlap case and if we want to heighten these parts. So here we have something that is already trampled. We might want to heighten it a bit. But this is like a little bit what is the word I'm looking for? Like this is one of those cases where we would, like if we care about this one, we're pretty much aiming for perfection. It's a little bit, it might be a bit too hard to fix. Yeah, what's up GDs? What do you do if you need to recreate a state? Just don't. Like if we want to heighten and lower based on overlap, we're gonna need some form of time variable here because we need to know which trail is above the other one, right? And we experimented with sending down timestamps as well to the GPU. It should definitely not be hard to solve if we want to do it eventually. And Derek, well, I don't suppose you'd expect much when you come back through the same area. Maybe that doesn't have to matter as much. Exactly, yeah. If we look at real world stuff, it would depend on temperature and stuff like that, right? If you had very puffy snow, is that the correct term? If you have puffy snow, then you would expect it to become trail-like here as well. If you have very wet snow, you wouldn't expect this. But like now we're getting overboard or whatever it is. Let's see if I can find the word I'm looking for. Fuck it. But yeah, that might be like way above what is assumed for this solution, or yeah. As MacGDs, if you load the game where the path was already trampled, you lose the time data. Are the ideas to like store a timestamp we're gonna have a day-night cycle, so you could probably do something with that. But it's like a timestamp of when this was trampled. Derek, also, if your snow's gonna slowly reaccumulate, the slow raising of the snow height will allow room for reheightening. If whatever it is taking a minute to double back in its path, that it's... Yeah. Fuck, we have a lot of things. A lot of constraints and things to take into account. So let's not overthink it right now. Let's solve the simple cases first. And looking at this data, it should be quite straightforward to differentiate between these and these, right? So I'm wondering, displace amount. Displace amount is more like a... Like, I wonder if when we want to heighten snow around a trail, if we add a constraint to it, that we only do it with snow that is untouched or untraversed, then we can filter out this pretty easily compared to this, right? So yeah, let's do this. Store this one right here, and then we do deformation height offset. Or we could do this. So what I want here is a variable like if we have the ground and then we have the snow offset, pretty much what we're doing is, so if this is 1 foot, it's pretty apparent that this one is going to be deformed down to here. But then we also have, we might have a point here, and this is the crotch. And it's actually above the max amount of snow, but it's pretty damn close to the snow. It's pretty damn close to the snow, so I'm wondering if we want to do some thresholding on this distance, and that's how we can differentiate between area adjacent to a path and an area inside of a path. I'm pretty fucking sure we can do it. So it's pretty much this float. We might get some weird behavior in certain cases, but it's pretty much this float or this threshold I want to define. So if we would have had the crotch up here, we would probably not want to touch this one at all. But if it's just here, and just here, it's okay. So it's pretty much gonna be how do we do this? Activity data, displacement height. Okay, so let's create it like that. We do height. Sometimes naming variables it's very hard sometimes. Height affect threshold. So this one is going to be used to mark a point as affected or not affected. If we're below it, we're going to mark it as affected. If we're above it, we're going to mark it as not affected. So not affected, affect, pretty much. Or rather, this point right here marked as affected, this point right here marked as unaffected. Is affect here with E the proper? And I think we want to do this relative to maybe not. Maybe not. Let's do it like this, and then we can check. Displace amount float. We want to compare it to this one, I think. Fuck, do we? No, basically we want to, like this one we saturate. but we want to do... Let's do it like this. Displace amount. Displace multiplier. Main displace multiplier. Displace multiplier. So I wonder if we want to do float. Like if we don't saturate this one, displace multiplier is above 1, and if it's above 1, it means that our displacement height that we shouldn't lower the snow. So what I want to figure out like is how far above 1 are we? If we're so it's pretty much like this. Displace value displace value and then saturate displace value. So then what I want to do here is I want to subtract 1 from this one and check if the result is less than this one. If so, we know that it's in the middle of the path. Displace affected. I'm not sure about this one. Displace affected. Let's do it as a Boolean right now. So pretty much displace value -1 if this one is less than threshold, height effect threshold, output. Yeah, let's just output this one and see if we have a correct-ish value here. So this should be a pretty straightforward path, and which also means that the tops in the middle of the trail should be marked as true here as well, or white. I think depends on what we set this one to be. So right now it's 0, but if we set it to 0.1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get it here by the hands as well. Not too bad. 0.4, 0.5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we can exclude the middle in a pretty nice way, I would say. So we could probably lower this one by using this. But then again, if we would be doing a jump, it's not too bad. I'm okay with this one, I think. 0.4, 0.3. 0.3 we would be getting this. That's pretty good. This one is still... But we can also base this one on... How would that look? No, I don't... Now we still get some misses here. Yeah, I think we still want to do this by height. I mean, we could do a if velocity strength is 0, but that means that if we were way above the snow, we would still affect it if we only check the velocity. Still get some unaffected. It's definitely not a perfect divider, but it improves it a bit. 0.3, no, 0.9 height effect threshold. That's pretty. 0.9. So here we're entirely above the snow, but we would still... We would affect it, or we're in it. But no. Let's see. We can use it together with displace amount. So let's see here. No, maybe not. Yo, what's up, Diligence? And that's some RDR 2 level snow. That's the goal. That's the goal. I don't know if this is the way to exclude the center part. Because we're getting, let's see here. Yeah, let's do this one as 0 again. It sorta works, but if we want it to work well enough, we're gonna get certain parts outside as well. Like the higher we go. Maybe it's okay though. Maybe it's okay. So for white, for white marked vertices here, that are not being displaced. So for white marked vertices here that are not getting displaced downwards, we base the height on adjacent neighbors. Let's see how that works. And then on top of that, we heighten it if it's on the edges. Thank you, Diligence, for pointing that out. I was muting for 1 second. I mean, this looks pretty good so far, but still ways to go. I would like to lower this middle a bit more without... It's a problem of excluding... We want to lower this one but heighten this one. Appreciate it, appreciate it. I'm a bit sick, so sometimes it's good to mute, you know. I have a little bit of a cold. Just need to remember to unmute again. Very important. Yeah, this is a pretty great result so far. We can lower the middle part even more by doing... this, I would say. And even we could apply some filter as well. So if we take a look at the middle right now, it's pretty high. I would like to offset this one a tiny bit, 0.01. Way better previously. Why did we get such a... Oh yeah, because of this one. Diligence, have you seen the snow in Lonely Mountain Snow Riders? There's a glimmer effect on the snow that looks delicious. Oh, yeah. I haven't seen that exact snow, but we're gonna add glitter highlights eventually. I would say this is a pretty good middle ground. So we're not getting the same peaks unless we jump. Still seeing a little bit of a highlight in the middle there. It's pretty good. Can we make it even bigger? Are still getting some peaks I'm not entirely happy about. So like this one. Diligence looks crazy good, legit AAA game feel. Double A as well, at least, so far. But I appreciate it. I want to try and... Fuck, do I? I want to see what happens if we do this. Just what kind of effect this has. If we do sample MIP level, we want to rename this one, but displays, properties, and we do so it's when we're reading this one, level this is the original. And then if we do we heighten, we do this one to lower to average it out a tiny bit, right? Like this one fixes the visuals quite a lot, I would say already. I think this looks way better than this. But still ways to go. And then I wonder, so if we do go down one MIP level, when we do the displacement, how does it look if we take one here? It's jagged as hell. Extreme, it becomes way more jagged, but not too much, honestly. think... I forgot to do one thing. We want to try this again. Did I? Yeah, get terrain base data. We might want to add a level to this one as well. Diligence so satisfying seeing objects disappear into snow. I'm gonna show you something soon. It looked better before, I agree. We want to read... Ah, fuck, we can't do MIP levels here because this one is structured buffer. Fuck me. Take a look at this again. So I think the best deformation so far is if we just leave it as this-ish. And then when we go down MIP levels, we definitely... Oh, one sec. Yes, okay, let's do it like... So we can see here, if we do display sample 1, we get it, it's extremely jagged, right? But if we do this, let's see. We do a bilinear read here. It might be a bit better. So if we take this one to 1, then we sample this one. Yeah, I think I'm missing one more thing. I want to check here. I actually like the... This is more puffy snowish. This is less puffy snow, I would say. But I think we can improve this one a tiny bit more as well. And this is a problem 0. One more thing I want to do here is that when we sample the level here, we also need to update the UV step. And we want to update it like this one. Now we should get a little bit of a better result when we read neighbors. Even less jagged, I think, but I wonder if we average it a bit too much now. We'll see. So if we bring this one up to 1, and then we take this one as... That's not what I want to see. Getting this one. Huh. Yes, of course. It's only this one, so... Now it should work if we do this. It's a bit too much, isn't it? I think it is. That definitely looks worse. A little bit jagged, yes. We haven't done anything about that just yet. This is pretty much the best result we get. So we're lowering the middle one a bit. Yeah, the end goal here was to differentiate between the outer edges and what we have in the middle, and we have managed to lower the middle one a tiny bit. Just wonder if it's enough. Okay, so if we do see if we can get the highlights working again. So we do this. Okay, we do this. And then let's see. When we do this check right here, we also want to take into account displays affected. So, and it's bigger than less than 0.5. Derek, bro, you could blend between regular walking animation and walking animation for trudging through snow based on density of snow you're walking through. Fuck yeah, man. Okay, this is the result we had previously. So we can see here that, yeah, we do identify the edges, but we also identify the middle ridge. So let's see what happens if we put height effect threshold at 1 maybe. Let's see what we get. Ooh, let's see. That is pretty much exactly what I want to see. Because now we can see here that we could easily heighten these ones, although we would still be getting a jagged result. Still, I'm okay with that. And if we do we put 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Yeah, now the only problem, so now we have properly excluded the middle line. And we only have the edges here, so we can probably offset it upwards, make it look a little bit nicer. So that we're, rather than just trampling snow down, we're offsetting snow. But then we're back at the jagged problem. Like, how the hell can we properly smooth these out? That is a hard question. Subdube Dev. I just recently watched. Let's see what that is. Yeah, very similar, very similar. It's winter after all, indeed. I would have loved to have done this in December. But January, February still works. But okay, we want to offset. So the idea is to heighten these white points, but I really want to research if we can possibly get rid of these, the blocky stuff here. We're pretty much just reading a texture, a downsampled version of the texture, hence the blocking. But I wonder if we can do some processing on that value to make it a little bit rounder. That is the question. I wonder what happens if we do... We have bilinear. Do we only have point... let's see here. Different samplers. HLSL. It's a filter. And we get sampler filter HLSL. Why don't we have any better? Jesus. Mm. My point clamp. Okay, point linear or trilinear. Oh, we can probably not solve this changing the sampler. Jude, that might worth watching that video, by the way. She provides some technical details. Yeah, might do. I fucking love how easily accessible stuff like that is with the help of internet. Okay, I don't think we can. I don't think the sampler can help us with this, but can we do some post-processing ourselves? To round this out, I want to try. Let's add in a noise and just see how it looks. Like if we were adding... but noise won't help us. If we do this and add noise, maybe. Judith, she also solved jagged edges problem. Oh, that I might take a look at. How did she do it? I've been thinking about doing like quad flip, but I don't know if that's the best solution. I don't think these jagged edges are related to that. Like, let me show the current state of things we have are... I think this is about it. So jagged, yeah, I think we can solve jagged edges by quad flip, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. But let me just explain what we're doing, what we're currently doing here. What we're trying to solve in this case, or what we want to do in this case, is like we want to displace snow. So the jagged edges in question is probably the shading we get here, and I think we can solve it by quad flip. But what we're trying to do right now is add a little bit of a displacement visual kind of effect. So we want to heighten the snow around the trail. So not only pushing snow down, but displacing snow. So we want to heighten it around the edges here. And currently we take... we just look at our activity texture and downsample it, and that's why we get the blocky result we can see. But let's see if we can do anything with noise. Noise is not a solution to this problem. It's more of a workaround. So we have properly identified where we want the snow to displace upwards, but we do this identification in sort of a jagged way, right? And that is the problem. And I don't know if we can get around that. So it's pretty much what's happening here is I drew this yesterday, but I'm gonna draw it again because it might help. So if this is our activity texture, the one that pretty much controls the displacement, and then to identify the edges, we downsample this one. We might even downsample it to just 1 pixel like this. previously we did something like we take the middle here, so it's here, and then we check the distance to the middle point of the downsampled pixel. And we base the multiplier on that, but didn't really get it to work yesterday because I don't entirely know if it's possible to make this work or not. But for instance, with our current solution, all of these pixels would get the same value if we downsample it this much. But if we somehow weight it to the center, this one would be brighter than this one because this one is closer to the center. But it gave us it didn't really result in what we wanted. So yeah, this one became darker, but if this one was extremely light, so this would pretty much result in circular artifacts like this. What's up, Arya? We're trying to utilize our activity texture to create snow displacement. That's what we're doing today. I'm probably gonna do for the next week as well. I can show you the current state soon. The current state of things. I might show it while I think about this problem. We haven't focused that much on lighting right now. The focus is still on displacement. So this is currently what we're working with. And, or more specifically, like we're focusing on displacement right now. And we want to displace, oh no, did I screw it up? Yeah, I did. We want to focus on displacing snow upwards at the edges of the trail. But it turned out to be, pretty much knew that it was going to be hard to do. And we're definitely getting closer. But not there quite just yet. And yeah, we have identified which parts of the snow we want to deform upwards to simulate displacement of snow. Yeah, this is extremely fun. So we have identified the areas which we want to displace upwards. We just the area is a little bit too jagged for my taste. So we have this. If we displace based on this information, we're gonna get very square-like upward displacement, and maybe that's I mean, it's gonna look like shit, probably. If we just displace upwards based on this data, it's gonna look pretty shit, honestly. But we could hide it with some noise. Let's try and hide it with noise. So when we have a value that is non-zero here, we add a noise to it. Or we multiply. We take the value we have here and multiply it with a noise. That will remove the jagged things, but it might... let's try it. Why not? So this value we want to multiply with noise here instead. So let's add some noise variables here. I don't remember what util math. Generate gradient noise value. We want UV and we want scale. So let's add snow displace properties. Displace noise scale. Now we do noise multiplier times this one. Let's see what we get. And I also want to set height effect threshold. We're going to set this one as 1 by default. I don't see any noise affecting it just yet. Sample level 2. We have noise here. Yeah, I think we do. But the scale... multiplying it... fuck, we want higher scale here. Maybe we should do... instead of doing a multiplication, we could be doing min or max. Wonder what kind of result that would yield. 2, and then we do noise. Yeah, with multiplication we still have the blocky stuff, but if we did min max, I wonder. Diligence, fantastic progress. Thank you, appreciate it. Gotta go enjoy the weekend. Everybody. You too. Have a great weekend, man. Yes, we solve it. I mean, this is a bit better, but still pretty shit. I want to try and see what happens if we just do a min instead. Don't we have min? Yeah, we do. Turn min, noise multiplier. Min identify represents a variable, not a function. What's up, CoolRSK? Derek, have you tried applying the offset height to the ridges? Yes, just test how it looks so far. No, I haven't. We might do that. That's a good point. Let's see if we get this min to work. Let's just see how it looks, and then we can try and displace it. Identify represents a variable, not a function. Is that so? Oh yeah, what the fuck? Oink. Let's go with 3 and then noise scale. Oh, we have a pretty big value here. Okay, that's not good. One sec, however, minimum. Yeah, this is pretty much a workaround that doesn't really work. Maybe we can explore it a tiny bit more eventually. But yeah, let's see if we just add a displacement, even though we have kind of a blocky area or blocky mask. Let's just see how it looks. So pretty much what it gets down to is maybe we can do it here. And we're gonna do it simple this time around, I think. Something like that, I think. Positions. OS. Cooler SK bid farewells today. Hope everything went as good as it can. Given the circumstances. So if we do 2, now we color it a little bit weird, but let's just see if this works. Displays upwards max distance. I wonder, what do we actually affect here? Doesn't look too bad. But we're... And if we remove... this one as well, 1. Might not look too bad. Oh fuck, let's try this with some proper shading as well. I just want to fix this one. We're gonna put height effect threshold 1 as default, and sample MIP level here, we're gonna set this one at 3 by default. And then let's remove this and let's see what we have. So here is default without any displacement upwards. And if we do a little bit displacement upwards, Um, it's a bit too broad, but we can fix that by doing 2. Bit too much. Getting more of a... Another problem. We probably want to take... I think the displacement might actually work quite well. So this one getting higher. So everything looks good here. My only concern, or what I don't like, is these points upwards here. It's almost like we get... It's like we are an icebreaker ship breaking ice. Derek, I had a hunch it may look good despite the blockiness of the maps. Glad it did. Yeah, great call there to actually just test it. And then we can check, because it actually does. The blockiness is not as apparent after the displacement. So thank you for that. 1, 2, 3. But our problem is we would like to lower these. So the vertices right at the edges, we want to lower them, but we want to offset these upwards. Then we might get a better result and less icebreaker related. Koloreski, the birth of Swedish icebreaker fleet. Yeah, I don't know. I think we have a... We just have to double check how many we have. 5 icebreakers. Quite not that many compared to Russia, I would guess. Yeah, Russia even has more nuclear icebreakers. That makes sense. Oh fuck, if we could lower the ones right next, I think it would look really good. Oh, what happened here? Oh, yeah. Oh, look at this. Look at the snow heightening in front of him. That's pretty cool. We can even do 4. Then we do max distance. a bit too much. Four is probably too big of an area, but 0.5. Derek, I feel like a curve could be used to bring the immediate edge down and control the shape of the ridges more. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, because I think like this would look extremely good if we could just smooth these edges a bit. I'm a little bit worried about, like, I would like to see more displacement right in front as well. Right? Hmm. Hmm. If we can round this out in some way. Um, hmm. Gonna be hard to find the sweet spot for this one, I think. Yo, what's up, Sharkofang and Harukanan? Where's my Yeti? On the to-do list in the future. And Sharkofang, the snow is progressing nicely. Yes, I think so. Currently in the process of trying to heighten it a bit around the character, but right now it's more like an icebreaker effect than actually wading through snow. But we're gonna get to it. I think. Let's exit this one real quick and do trails look much clearer. Yes, indeed. I want to visualize this again. Let's see what we have once more. Fuck, did I unfortunately mute myself again? I'm sorry, this stream has been a lot of mute, unmute, because I'm a little bit sick, so sometimes I need to mute. But let me explain this again. And John Olson, I just liked what you wrote. Hi, by the way. Just joined and watching this with no context is an experience, I tell you. I appreciate that. So, this is what we want when we displace snow. This is what we're currently getting when displacing snow. So it has been a problem to identify where we want to bring the snow up, and we have successfully done that, I think. Now we just need to do... So the closer something is to the actual hotspot, this one, the greater value we have. So we have a value that between 0 and 1 that tells us how close we are to this one, basically, in a jagged kind of way, in a pixelated kind of way. So right now we displace it upwards linearly with this 0 to 1. So 0... What do we have? So it looks a little bit like this. The question is if we want to decrease it again after a certain point. So we might want to have a displace curve that looks like this. I wonder... So visually, this is our hotspot result. The brighter it is, the closer we are to this one. We just need to find a good balance when to bring it down and when to bring it up. We have some simple mathematical curves that looks like... I think we would probably like to have... Can we construct a mathematical curve or an equation that describes a curve like this? Maybe we want to vary this point. I would love to be able to do this with animation curve in Unity, but yeah. You have a curve parameter thing in Unity, you know. Yeah, the animation curve, but we don't have access to it in the shader. I don't think, I'm pretty certain. So what we would need to do is... I think we have it, but like we would have to take that animation curve and convert it to a one-dimensional texture. Charcoal Wool from Alpha as a function graph calculator. I was about to say... thank you. And we find it. I'm also wondering... There are a bunch of those graph plotters around. Yeah, I mean, we could... Okay, let's wait a second with the curve and let's do something very simple. I wonder if we can create a curve that looks like I could just split it in two, basically. What is it? Absolute x minus... Or actually, let's just do it with an if statement first, a branch. And then we do... So we split it between 0 to 0.5 and 0.5 to 1. Then we have one simple function for this and one simple function for this. And we do it as... one minus x would give us, so it's going from 0.5 to 0, right? And here we do... Here we just do 0 to 0.5. And then we vary this point. So... where do we have it? Let's just add this back. Displace multiplier. If displace multiplier displace up multiplier. And let's introduce breakpoint. Now we do if this one is bigger than 0.5 or if this one is bigger than breakpoint, do something with it, otherwise do something else. So if it's bigger, we want to do displace up multiplier is equal to displace minus displace multiplier. Displace up multiplier. So if this one is greater than this one, then we start lowering it. But not like this. Otherwise, we don't do anything else. So this one will walk from... This is wrong, but... It will walk, or it will grow up to displace upward breakpoint, and then we just want to start lowering it again. Yeah, isn't it just... Okay, I feel stupid right now. 1.21, 1.2 minus... No, absolutely not. Minus equals right. If this one is 1.2 and this one is 1, we want to have 0.8. So we do want to take the... This gives us... that's just an example. I don't think we can have those values between, because... But it's good. So 1.21, this yields 0.2. And then this. But... looks weird. So, yeah, if 1.21, we get 0.2, 0.8. 1.51, we get 0.5, 0.5. Jesus. My question is, does this yield... Probably exists a way easier way to do this without a branch as well, but don't we get something like that? This is breakpoint. I don't know even anymore. What do we have? Displays upward max distance. And upwards breakpoint. We would like to have a little bit of a smoothing up here as well, but Jesus. If we have smoothing there, it's gonna look pretty damn good, I think. We should be able to smooth it by just doing to the power of 2, I think, on it. We don't want to... That is true. Getting closer and closer, at least. But definitely want to... I like the look of this. So this is with extremely powdery snow, possibly. Way too big. 3. see if we can find a sweet spot with this bad. Oh, fuck, we can just round this one as well. Oh no. Beautiful. Yeah, like in small steps, it's getting better and better and better and better. I love it. And that's what you want to see. What's up, Ashiru? But this, if we can round off this function as well, it's gonna look good. But let's see if we can find a sweet spot. Snow, and then we do upwards max distance. Breakpoint. We can probably... Fuck, I love this. Like, this is the most fun I've had in a while. Well, pretty much most of what I've done here on stream has been pretty fun, but this is on another level. What if we lowered this one once? 2? And then if we round it off on the top. Extremely subtle. Mm-hmm. Jesus, yeah, that's already looking pretty damn good. Okay. Although a little bit worried about this, but whatever. Small. Yeah, if we get the shading to work with this one as well, it might be... It's gonna be way, 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 way better. It's important that... It's gonna be hard, but we'll see, we'll see. Three... Probably find a pretty good point for this eventually. Yeah, we have like, it's already looking kind of good, but we can make it look a lot better. I'm wondering, so this is pretty much a very bad way of doing it. We get something that looks like this between 0 and 0.5. So if we just take this to the power of 2, what will we get? Something like this, right? Let's just try it. I might be wrong, but just want to see. Ah, fuck, I fucked it up. Really? Oh, yes. This is not a value between 0 and 1. It should be displays up multiplier. This one is between 0 and 1. This one is not. This distance or depends breakpoint. I can't say that this result makes a lot of sense to me. Might be overlooking something. Or actually... Oh, I see. I see. Interesting. We're close to it, but I think I screwed up here. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to call it here. I would love to continue this, but I don't have the time today. But we're gonna continue it next week, and I will probably, like most likely, be able to stream a bit more next week. So hopefully even enough to maybe finishing up this snow. No worries, good progress. Yeah, I hate to do it, but I gotta run. I think it was great progress as well. Appreciate the kind words. Have a great weekend, and hopefully I will see you next week. Peace.